Yeah. Oh yeah. Welcome to Inside the Booth.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Dan the Law. Oh yeah. We have Tony with us from Docking Bay 327. We got CG artist Ron. And we have tonight, welcome back, Sean from Try to Finish Something.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. So tonight we're just going to chit chat, talk. We're gonna. I guess we'll start with costuming and stuff, and then we can move into props, and then we can talk about basically anything really. Even new shows that we may have seen or movies that we may have heard of. You know, stay within the vein of movies and geek talk, but fun stuff. So I don't know. I guess I'll start. What about some cosplay? Okay, no. Here's a question. I guess. What makes a good cosplay that can also be like a movie costume at the same time, or what makes it like? I don't know. Like what makes it good? You know, like as a movie, but then turned into a cosplay. How about that? I don't know if I'm trying to say this right. Something.
A character's wardrobe from one of the movies that you then create because it's cool.
Right. Now, would you guys put your own spin on it, or would you stay pure to the movie? I guess that's maybe the question that I would have.
So I guess it all depends, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I did my first cosplay last year as Moff Gideon and stayed true. You know, it was mostly 3D printed. You know, ordered a cape for it and everything. Ordered some boots. I actually had James from Rebel Base Build get the boots for me for a different costume, and then I ended up using them for this one. So I actually got the boots from London.
Nice.
And picked them up myself. But long story short, I tried to stay true to the character, even cutting the hair shorter and all that, and kind of giving the look that he gives. But then there's something to be said about people who make like something in universe, depending on regardless of what universe it is, Marvel, DC. You know, it's really, I think that's the fun part, is seeing what people do as far as being creative. I think we were at what was this Celebration Anaheim, and one of the funniest costumes that I saw was there was a guy in in green screen from his pants down, and he was Darth Maul from the head up, you know, from the waist up, and the other guy was Darth Maul's legs and green screen up top. So things like that, just, you know, I think just completely make the costume when it's just super original, you know.
Right. Yeah. That is fun. That's cool. I like that.
And for me, I mean, I will say that most of my past costumes, I was going for more, much like you, I was going for more the screen accurate because I was trying to do 501st stuff. So my Din Djarin is as screen accurate from season 1 as I could possibly get, and I've got Kylo Ren, and I worked on like one of the tank drivers, and I've got a bunch of different shore trooper, and I tried to make them all super accurate, but because I get stuck in that rut of screen accurate, and one of the things that I didn't like about Mandalorian is when they moved away from that ragtag armor that he had, and I liked that kind of feel and the idea of somebody salvaging and putting together something. And so my daughter was the one who finally said to me, so make your own version of it. And that's one thing that's on my bucket list of things that I want to do, is to make my own, you know, salvaged bounty hunter that's just an amalgamation of a bunch of different pieces of armor that he stole from people that he's passed along the way or whatever. And so that definitely will be there at some point in the future.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. What about you, Tony?
Well,
What stuff have you done?
Yeah, nothing nearly as elaborate as these guys, or you. I just would buy something that, like I was at the celebrations during the prequels because they were
Okay.
close by, and I think the first year I just went regular, and then the first year I bought like an Anakin Skywalker kind of vinyl thing. It was kind of cheaply made or whatever, but it got the idea across. So I wore
Yeah.
that this time, and I used to have really long hair, so I pulled it back in the middle like Qui-Gon Jinn, and so it was kind of a combination of Qui-Gon and Anakin, but it wasn't. I didn't make anything for it. It was just whatever.
Yeah, no shame
Right.
there. I think my first one was one that I bought at the Disney store in Anaheim.
Yeah.
To whet your appetite, and then you see some other ones. You're like, I'm gonna make something this year, so that it'll happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Tony, you got the skills to make stuff, so
Yeah.
I don't doubt that you could throw something together and make it look cool.
I guess so. I don't know how to sew or anything like that, and the leather and some of the materials that I would want to use probably would be quite the. I probably wouldn't be able to film any of it because there'd be a whole lot of
That's all right. Just, you know what? Just farm out the work, man. Find out who's in the group, who's a seamstress. Farm it out.
There you go. Yeah, you could do that.
And
for sure.
And the other thing, Tony, is I have no idea how to sew. It doesn't stop me from trying. I mean, if you look at the seams up close, like on the inside, because most of the time you take a seam and you fold it over like this, and then you sew on the inside. If you look on the inside, they're a mess, but you can't tell on the outside.
As long as it holds together.
Yeah.
I mean, Dennis from Black Market Outpost, he actually did his one of his cosplays for Anaheim, and he had never sewed before and actually tried it, pulled it off. So it was a first time for him. So
yeah, the Jawa that he has is one that I made for my kid, and I sent to him just because I didn't have a use for it, and he's like, "Oh, I just really want a Jawa to go with my sand creek." I'm like, yours.
Nice. Nice. That is cool.
But I've done Ghostbusters. I did that for a Halloween party. I love the Ghostbusters.
Cool.
I mean, that Fallout stuff looks cool. I mean, there's a whole universe, like you said, Marvel. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I've always wanted was a Batman suit.
Oh, yeah, like a good one. Yeah,
like a film accurate one. But man, those are super expensive.
Yeah,
they are
holding that.
Yeah, I think my wife would like me to have that too.
Muscles would make you feel good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta do the voice and everything too when you put the towel on.
Yeah. There, that Chris, Cosplay Chris or whatever.
Yeah.
You had him on, right? You've interviewed the guy.
Oh yeah.
He has a hilarious skit where he's putting on, I think it's a Batman costume, and he's just dying because it's so hot, and so hard to breathe in it. Like, yeah, this is pretty funny.
Or even like happens. Bat Dad or whatever, the guy who just does that, where he just sneaks up on his wife and kids just in the mask.
that was hilarious.
That's funny stuff. That is good.
Yeah.
So
one of the days maybe I will, but for now I'll just use my store-bought stuff.
There you go. Yeah, you can. You can mix match store-bought stuff too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not a bad thing.
Dan, you did the Ghostbusters. That turned out really awesome.
Yeah, I did. I made 5 costumes because I have 3 little, well, not little ones. I got a 12-year-old, 2 little ones, my wife and me. Yeah, so that was fun to make. That was like 3 years ago or so, maybe a little bit more.
Oh, really? That long ago? Okay.
Yeah. But I keep using the costumes. You know, I keep using
I was gonna say, I thought I saw a post here recently with the latest Frozen Empire, where you all went to.
Yep. And it was nice because it's weird because I keep finding like flight suits, you know, where I live and stuff. You know, they put them in garage sales, and I'm like, okay, I'll buy that. You know, I'll use that for a Ghostbuster costume, even if it doesn't fit me. I'll use it for someone else. And so I got right now I have 4 made up with the patch and everything, and I got the proton packs. I got 3 proton packs. And you know, and you just kind of add to it. Right now, I'm making those. I don't know if you guys know what the gizmo belt is. The little like calculator. Board. Yeah, I'm making those, and they're turning out pretty good. It's not finished yet, but hopefully I'll get a video out soon on that. But
that's cool.
It's pretty neat. I do everything the cheap way, you know. I don't have the awesome 3D printer like Ron over there.
Nothing wrong with doing that, bro. Just you know, go find some outfits and put it together. I think James from Rebel Base Builds did that out in London. He basically put together a rebel smuggler type of uniform. That was cool.
That was cool. Yeah, I think Darth Vader's coming into your room there, Ron.
Yeah,
your door just opened.
That's because a dog just entered.
Now that I've got my automated door, whenever my daughter comes over with her dog, man, he flips out every time he comes near it, and it starts opening. He freaks out. The cat.
That's funny.
Got down here the other day, and apparently, you know, he kicked it off and just went flying across the room like.
That's fun. That's cool. Yeah, let's see. I think there was Miss Smart Muses is in the chat. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, so I like to everybody knows Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah.
And Casey Jones from that.
Yeah.
So
the hockey stick.
Yep. I made a Casey Jones costume, but I mix matched everything. You know, I just kind of threw my own into it. Plus, I threw in like a little bit of this movie, a little bit of that movie, a little bit of the cartoon. You know, and I think it's cool to do things like that. You know, just being a little bit more on the creative side. So, yeah, it's fun, and it's fun to do that. I don't know if you can. I guess my question is, can you do that with Star Wars stuff? You probably could.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's like,
big time.
It's harder to do it, though, right?
We'll be right back. Now the dog wants to leave.
Oh, can't get out, right?
Yeah.
Now, I was going to say, Dan, I think, you know, with all the new Disney Plus shows and or, you know.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, they're taking inspiration from the old movies and then creating something similar but different or unique,
right?
Using the same feel and color and you know, materials.
Right.
So, I mean, they're doing the same thing you're talking about, right? Kind of mix matching different things.
That's true, but I guess if you're on the Emperor side, you have to be more uniformed, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, probably.
But other than that,
yeah, you just have fun with it. I mean, unless you're going for some sort of, you know, certified fan club type of thing. I mean, you're doing it just to have fun. You're out there just having fun. So just do it and have fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
And then if you need something 3D printed, I mean, you can always ask people in the group, or if you want, Etsy is an incredible source for getting stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I got a couple different things, like this little guy.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Look at the
Too bad his
detail.
tongue wasn't out.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is really nice.
There are so many places I know that I have a 3D printer and I'm sometimes not happy with the quality of the prints. And it's like if I'm looking for something to have really good detail, like there's a place called Clever 3D Studio that I will hit up every now and then, and they'll print some stuff for me. It's like there are some really good people out there that they do that all the time, and I love supporting people that are trying to make their own business doing it. I mean, it's
exactly, and yeah. I mean, I got the two IG88 heads back there, and something else. I can't remember what it was now, but reasonably priced, but great quality from Caleb. Shoot, I don't remember his last name, but I'll look up the Etsy store because it was really good too.
Yeah, and there are a bunch. I mean, even like Derek does. You know, I mean, he'll take on, if he's got time, he'll have some stuff printed and things like that. There are a lot of people out there that have printers that, if they're not using them, they're happy to put them to use for you. I mean, there.
Yep.
I've got one. It's a resin printer, and it's hit or miss.
Resin printers, man.
I have a half printed piece still sitting in the vat from
oh boy, just oozing away.
Yeah,
I could take the rest of the show complaining about my resin printer, but I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we've all been there, man.
Yeah,
all that time only to see this half weird warped thing.
But it's the siren call of not having to sand it that makes me keep going back.
Yes.
But I just it's so frustrating.
And now they make the type of resin that's not as brittle too, so like ABS style resin. So it's like I don't have to sand anything. I get I mean, very, very light sanding, and then I'm off to the priming and painting instantly. So good.
I just want it to be more reliable, but
yeah.
Agree,
brother.
I'm with you.
Those bamboo printers that have like the different colors of filament. Wow.
That have the smoothing hot end that will do the sand. I mean, that's good stuff. Yeah.
You could do that with any printer though. There's an option to turn on called ironing.
Oh, okay.
Usually it does the very top layer, but do these printers like do that per like all around the whole thing?
It seems to.
Yeah, it seems to.
I mean, sanding it needed. It looked like
the prints that I've seen off of those things are immaculate. But I mean, you pay for it too. I mean, it's not
those aren't
not
cheap.
an entry level printer.
Those aren't cheap. Yeah.
No.
Well, I just saw one not too long ago on YouTube, and it was printing an actual house. It was like putting up the mortar.
Concrete.
Yeah, with concrete. I'm like, what? That's so weird.
Yeah,
I've seen that too. They're doing a lot of that with the space program, because they're trying to figure out how to build the moon base and the Mars base and all of that using the, what do they call it? It's not the dirt, but the arugula or whatever, whatever, moon dust or Mars dust. You know, they turn that into some sort of concrete-ish kind of material, and they're literally printing it on site.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
All right. Can't wait to mess up another planet.
Of course, you know.
It's Total Recall all over.
Right?
Yeah.
Complete with the bulging eyes and everything. It somehow went right back to normal. No damage, nothing.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Right, I digress.
That bugged me too, Ron. I know.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, no pain, none?
I agree.
The eyeballs just went back in the socket and it was okay.
Yeah, exactly. No, you don't feel like a pressure. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, man, my eyes almost came out.
Yeah.
I mean, they were bulging out of your head. That didn't hurt. Okay.
That's
sorry.
No,
that's okay. That's what the show's about. Having fun. Talk about
came from the same decade.
Stuff.
We have the same complaints.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's That's funny. That's good stuff.
I guess
Yeah,
you can't talk about the good with cosplay until you talk about the bad. And I guess we started with the printing woes.
Right.
The other stuff, like stuff I learned from doing it for the first time last year is, and I know this is a bad word in the community, and so I'm sorry, I'm giving my disclaimer, but hot glue.
Yeah.
So there was a Star Wars, there's a parade out in Aurora, Star Wars parade, where everybody dresses up and we go through the parade, and then the library gets a whole bunch of like Star Wars stuff and booths. It's almost like its own convention itself. Long story short, it was like 90 degrees out, and we all posed for this giant group photo when suddenly my shoulder fell off, the cape fell apart, everything was melting. It was like, oh no, what's happening? So, yeah. Hot glue became hot glue again. Lesson learned.
And that happens with the 3D printing too, depending on how
really
thick
happens.
you make that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get that stuff to warp and change shape, and it's not a good thing. Yeah.
So you gotta use the right filament for that not to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you use regular PLA, it's going to melt on you.
Oh yeah.
So if you build that new droid, that R2 unit that's remote control, and you go out in the sun, all of a or even worse, everything went fine at the con because it was air conditioned. Now it's time to go hang out, get some lunch or something. You decide to put it in your car and then go out to the restaurant. You're gonna come back to a mess.
Oh, and my Mando helmet that I made, this is 3D printed. And then I coated the inside, I painted it, and I did the whole thing. And I would leave it in the car when we would do like a troop or something, and we would go to like a charity event, and we would go to like a hospital. And I had so many people complaining that the same thing happened, and my visor is just hot glued in and stuff. And I actually, speaking of dumb things to do with money, oh wait, no one was talking about that. I have a guy who is who made one out of metal that he just commissioned, and he's sending it to me from Canada, and it will be an actual metal Mando helmet that I'll be getting in the next couple of days. That's awesome. Cool. It's gonna be heavy, cool. But it's gonna be awesome. But I can leave that all day long.
You're going to be carrying around some sort of oxygen tank, right?
Right.
Holy cow.
You know what? At least get yourself a little battery pack and one of those little fans to put for the forehead. I've seen them put that.
It's going to need it because I'm going to bake it.
Like I said, don't leave that one in the car.
Yeah.
Burn your face off. You'll look like Anakin Skywalker.
Exactly. You too can hate the sand.
Inside, it's gonna be like a little easy bake oven. I'm gonna bake in there and make some brownies.
Yeah, make sure you keep it cool. Ooh.
Yeah, you definitely have to show us that one. That's gonna be nice.
Yeah. You'll have to show. Yeah,
it'll be cool. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of availability. I mean, if costumes are something you want to do, there are so many different ways to do it and so many ways to make it possible. I mean, most of the costumes that I started out making were for my kids, and it was for Halloween, and I just would go overboard on their stuff, and I made everything from, fairy princesses to Hunger Games, and I mean, it was all just doing foam and just figuring it out, and it was just hot glue and foam.
Oh, that's another thing. If you can learn to do the foam stuff, you will not need a 3D printer at all.
Yeah, right. If you watch like Punished Props, so many different cool things that he does on that. I mean, it's amazing.
Really cool things. Yeah.
That is cool.
And the finish he gets on those things.
That always amazes me too. I'm afraid to paint foam. I feel like, and I've seen some tests where people spray different types of paints, and if it flexes, it affects the flexibility, or if you flex it too much, it starts to flake and tear and all. So you gotta experiment and look at some of those videos on that.
Yeah.
But I've seen stuff that, I mean, it looks just like metal, man. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Pretty cool.
What paint can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, the entry level for anyone that's interested is what you're willing to put into it. I mean, you can do it with anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
I saw one person do what was, I forget the name. I think it was it's a Japanese anime where there's these giant people. Something Titans, I forget the name of it. But long story short, this kid made the entire cosplay out of cardboard. And it was unbelievable. I'll send you guys a picture of it. I had to take a picture. I applauded this kid for his ingenuity. It was just really well done, and he didn't do it where you just kind of take cardboard and stick it together like this. He basically layered it up, so it was nice and it was dense.
Huh.
Against something and it wouldn't fall apart. It was so well done. I can't wait to show you guys that picture. It was
wow.
Really, so I say that you could start with just cardboard and hot glue.
Yep.
There you go. You could. Just don't get caught in the rain in that one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's pros and cons to all the materials, right?
Exactly.
I mean, will it melt? Well, it'll melt like that too in the rain, wouldn't it? I mean, you know, water on it. Is it something that you're gonna wear over and over again? Because if it is, then you tend to make that a little bit more durable.
Yep.
You keep refining it and keep making it better. And you wouldn't really know until you wear one for an entire day. You'll know where you need to make some changes.
Oh yeah.
Trust
Yeah,
me.
right. Yeah.
Like you'll know, okay, next time I'm doing it this way.
Yep, exactly. You figure
there'll be
those things
stuff
out
that you're just like, oh my God, why does it keep slipping off? And you'll learn from that. And then, you know, to the YouTubes, and then you'll go, aha.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, try it out, Tony. I think you'll find a new calling with that.
And with, I mean, not to plug the, you know, the four of us that do it. I mean, but there is so much of a resource out there with YouTube. If you have a question about anything, you can find someone who's done a video on how to get around whatever the issue is. I mean, I've worked on my pool system. I've worked on septic system. I mean, you can find a YouTube about anything. I mean,
absolutely.
You know, and it's just a great resource out there.
Yep. It's incredible the world we live in now.
Yeah.
The amount of people that are willing to share their knowledge. It's the complete opposite of what it used to be.
Yep. Yeah, you used to have to be an apprentice somewhere. That's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Although I did stumble
get half
across
of it in a book and then get the hidden part, you just wouldn't know. The secret sauce, you wouldn't know.
Right. Yeah.
I stumbled across one the other day, and I don't remember the guy's name, or I would call him out. But it was my wife's car. My daughter had called, and she was driving it, and it had some leak. And I just wanted to make sure that I was putting the coolant into the right place on the car because it's a European car and it has all these things. So I thought, oh, I'll just find it on YouTube. And so I found the guy's site. I looked at it, and it was only 3 minutes long. And I thought, this is perfect. It's going to tell me exactly what I need. And it says, okay, I'm opening the hood. Now call a mechanic. And that was the end of the show.
Oh.
I went, seriously? That's your son?
To the comments, you son of a...
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's got millions of views on that, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's cheating.
It is. That's funny.
Yeah, that sucks. Right when you really needed it, it let you down.
Right.
I found someone else, but
Yeah.
that guy.
That's the beauty of it too. There's like a million people showing you how to do the same thing. Some good, some pretty bad.
Yeah, some do it.
Like, all right, dude, get a tripod and don't try to one-hand it.
What? That's what most people do.
Yeah, when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's awesome. But the one thing that I still have yet to really find like a solid, I don't know, good information about is guitar playing. There's a lot of stuff out there about how you can play anything or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to like tablature for a song, my goodness, I get so frustrated.
Wow.
Most of the time I look through it and I'm like, I'm just going to listen to it and learn it myself. because
Yeah.
it's never
Okay.
even close. Like the tuning's wrong, the notes aren't there. Like,
Oh wow.
it's
I
pretty-
wondered about that. I
Yeah,
saw some stuff on Etsy or Udemy that I was going to pick up because I would like to learn the guitar, and I was like, can they really teach you this? I mean, you kind of need to be with someone. So is my thinking on that, you know?
Right.
yeah, at least to get the base, you know, to understand the
Mhm.
basics and know somebody actually
Yeah.
knows what you're talking about.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm somebody that I like that live experience with something. I mean, I've got a couple guitars, I've got a drum set. I can't play either of them, but I would love to learn how to do it. And I almost need like one of those language systems where it's like you play it and then it tells you, "Ooh, you played that wrong."
Yeah.
Of actually having somebody sitting there with me, I would love if the technology gets that far with AI that it can say, "Here's what you did wrong, try it again." That would be fantastic. But I've tried a couple different YouTube channels for guitar as well, and I just I can't get enough out of it. I'm
tough.
I'm not yet teachable.
So you need the babble for music.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's some decent ones out there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I just haven't found them.
Right. Yeah. And hey, I'm with you, Ron. Like, I'm with both of you guys. Like, I having somebody there to just kind of bounce ideas off of or whatever. You know, it's just a lot better.
Yeah.
So I back to the guitar thing, Tony. But you've played guitar for a while, right?
Tony's amazing.
For
so
several decades. Yes.
Yeah. So
it shows.
so I guess you really don't need a YouTube person to tell you much about.
Well, here's what I do is I was in a band there for a while, local rock band, and they were constantly throwing out, "We're going to learn this song for next week," and so I would use it as a cheat to at least just get an idea. A lot of times I've been playing for so long, I can just sit and not to brag, but I can watch somebody play it and I get it. You know, I don't have to even have it written down or whatever. I just, that's what they're doing there. You know what I mean? And I play by ear. I don't read music, so that's
okay. Well, what about just having the sheet with the words on it, and on top you have just a couple of the chords, like this is G up to this section, this is A. You know,
I would do that whenever I led worship for a long time at one of my churches. I would definitely. That was definitely how I wrote everything out for. I let it like
I think that's universal for worship bands. Is that
the chord at the beginning of the phrase, and then change the chord at the next phrase. Yeah, pretty basic.
Very basic. Yep. Because that's how I learned it. We had the chords and the sheets, and then this was obviously before YouTube, and how I learned how to do my fingering is on the bottom of the sheet of paper had like a drawing of each chord and the dots of where you had to push down. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can figure this out. And so I did, you know, but it took a while, but yeah, I didn't have anyone really teaching me. And that's how I really started learning. And then obviously I went into getting somebody to show me some things too. So afterwards, but
cool.
Yeah. Guitar is interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, what I would like to learn is that thing behind me there. Violin.
Yeah.
I would like to learn how to play that.
Now, wait, is that a violin or a fiddle? Because they're different. Like,
they are different, but they're not different. I think that one is a strictly violin. So
okay.
I think fiddles are just a little smaller. Isn't that what it is?
I don't even know. I'm being facetious. I
know. But
I was waiting to learn.
Country music, it's a fiddle.
Right.
Everything else, it's a violet.
Right. Yeah. But if I remember correctly, I think a fiddle is slightly smaller, not by much, but like
Okay. Could be.
the measurements. Now, don't quote me on that though, because that's what I was told a long time ago. And I don't even know who it was from.
That's a cool instrument, though. It's similar to guitar. Like it's not that far off from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. This is true. Yeah. So I guess costumes are like playing guitar, right?
I picked it up when I was 10 years old, and I just immediately fell in love with it. You know how something just really clicks with you, and that did, man. I was just hooked.
Yep.
And then of course I heard Eddie Van Halen, and that was it. I was like, all right, the acoustic is going in the trash. I'm going to get me a paper out and save up and get me an electric guitar, which I did.
Nice.
Plus, at that age, in our era, there was so many great guitars to choose from, to try to get, try to do what they do. So much, man.
Yeah.
70s. I mean, you got Sabbath and all those guys, Zeppelin, Hendrix, of course. And all the way through of course the 80s, all the hair bands and all the great guitar that they played and all that. So it was a perfect time to grow up, learning all of that.
Yep.
But the benefit of it too is when you're young like that, you're just a sponge, man. And then you don't care if you mess up. Like you just expect yourself to mess up, and you just keep playing it over and over again until you get it right. You get older and you're like, I screwed up once. You're like, forget it, I can't do it.
And my guitar history, like I went to a Guitar Center, I bought one, I had the amp, and was like, oh my god, I can't. And then the next day I'm like, yeah, I'd like to return this.
It doesn't sound the way
I thought I'd have time. And the guy behind the counter is like, yeah. You're like, 10th one today. Not this week, today.
Yeah.
Did you walk back and say, false advertisement? This doesn't
the kid that came in and did all that led me to believe it was easy.
Right.
There's always someone who comes into the store and just like makes everyone stop and like, damn.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Yep.
I want to do that. Yeah.
And if they were smart, they're employees that are on break.
Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. They did it on purpose.
Hey, Tim, go plug in over there for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Sit Tony in.
Yep.
That's funny.
I fell for it.
It's
good.
Yep. One day, Ron, really?
I did learn that I have to have it inverted. It's the only way I can do anything.
Are you left-handed?
Yeah, I'm right-handed, but I have to have the thing inverted. I can't. Something's wrong in here.
There's something wrong.
Yeah, something's not right.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. There's
okay.
No.
It's weird.
It does take
there are
time
other
to
things
learn
that
it,
are
though.
also I have to do left-handed. It's I don't know. Must have been that drop early on.
Back then, we didn't have the nice helmets and everything, right?
Exactly. Got back up, put some dirt on it, and
Yep. What do they call it? Ambidextrous, right? Where you're
but I'm not.
and left-handed.
I'm really not. It's just some things come natural with the left hand.
Maybe that's how you did it when you were younger, and no one tried to correct it.
Or maybe you're just weird.
That's
just
probably
weird. You're just weird.
That's spot on. That's spot on. Here's some money. Thank you.
And that goes without saying. Look what we do in our spare time.
Oh, right. Sure. We're all weird. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's it. Make Star Wars stuff.
That's the only way. That's the only way I can get away with saying that, Ron.
Yeah,
That's right.
I had a nickel for everyone who said that, though. Boy,
Dude, are you? You'd have a nickel?
You'd have a nickel.
Oh my god. Oh.
Oh, that's funny.
He's always like this, by the way. I spent 4 or 5 days with the guy, and it was just nonstop. Like he just had me in stitches the entire time.
yeah, that's
So
what
fun.
happens. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't apologize. It
That
was
was
fun.
liquor free. Boy, you haven't seen the real. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll have to remedy
That's
that.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, has anybody seen anything new lately? Like something pop up on your YouTube wall or something, and you're like,
Finished
"Oh, this
Bad-
seems to be
Finished
cool."
Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
And I was pretty
That's a good
happy with that, but
Me
I don't
too.
want to spoil it for anyone. But it's really good. Season 3 is really good.
They wrap it up really
Yeah,
nice.
they did do a
Yeah.
good job with that for sure.
Yeah. It
Yeah, the
brought
only thing-
one tear to the eye, just one.
Just one.
A single tear.
No
The only
more,
thing
no
I was
less.
watching, obviously, you've watched, Ron, because I saw we were talking about this before we started, your video game build of Fallout, and I finally started that on Prime, and so far I'm really enjoying that. They've done a good job.
You're in
yeah.
for a treat, man. That's a good show. It really is.
It really is. It really is.
And you like we were saying earlier, you don't even have to have been a player of the game to even.
Yeah.
They do such a well job of explaining things, so much that even people who have played the games, they're like, oh, like there's things that's revealed.
That's what that meant.
Yeah.
Well, like that makes sense. There's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So anyone who hasn't seen it, definitely, I don't know, borrow your friend's Prime and do something. Just go see it.
Yeah, do something to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Or just rent it, or I think
Just
you can
watch
say that if you're not a Prime member. But it's worth whatever. It's a good. It really is.
It is. It's a good show.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say
baseball.
about it without ruining it is when you are watching, look at the keep watching the end, not the full credits, but right after, when the credits first start rolling up, pay attention to what they're showing you. It's all I can say.
Right.
Yes.
I'll take that tip.
That's all I can say.
Yep.
Just
pay attention to the end credit. Yep.
Yeah, and there's no other end credit thing, just that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just the images at the end credits there. Yeah. Pay attention to the images. Yep. It's good. Good tip.
Because it's funny because it took me like the second to last episode, and I was like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's like,
what
dang, I missed out. I realize this now.
You got to rewatch.
Now I got to watch the whole thing again.
That's it. Okay, so I bumped into something. Jar Jar Binks is the GOAT. Yeah, he is. Sakurai Cain, thanks.
That is right. It's the hidden the hidden Sith Lord.
That's right. That's right. I don't know. I always think though about that. I'm always like, I wonder. I always wonder.
Can be that stupid.
Right. Exactly.
All up front.
Exactly. Well, they a lot of people's theories is that he was more like what's that drunken kung fu, where he seems like he's drunk, but he's really not that dumb,
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that always got me, and I was and so like even to today, I'm always like, man, I wonder if that was George Lucas's plan, and I wonder what it would be if he did that instead of listening to the media people and say his movie sucked,
Right.
and to try to change it. But I wonder if he just like followed his first plan, if it would be different,
Yeah.
just my thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I did bump into something on YouTube today. Who didn't like the Kenobi series?
Who didn't?
Just me. Yeah, who didn't like it?
I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay,
Somewhere in the middle. Yes.
All right. Well, I didn't like it that much. It was kind of dumb to me. A lot of things just didn't make sense. But I guess this guy named Pixel Joker 95, he's kind of fixing things, and he's taking the whole series and turning it into more of a movie. And he's like fixing a lot of the issues. Not obviously not everything. Not every issue that it had, but he's fixing some of them and trying to make it make more sense, I guess, by cutting things out and adding more things and whatever. And I guess he's been doing this project for a year now, and the last time he posted was about 6 months ago. So I don't know what's going on with that now, but I would really like to see what it turns out to be, and I would watch it for sure. I will. Let's see here. Let me get a link.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it's light up the scene where they're fighting.
Yeah, I thought somebody else had already done that,
lighting up the scene.
I don't know if it's the same guy or not, but basically turned it into a movie, which was originally going to be.
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
I think it would be the most with that show was the Grand Inquisitor. The way that he looked.
Yeah.
They just didn't spend enough time making it right.
Yeah.
It
was weird. It felt rushed or something. It's like
It did. So I put the link for those watching now. There's a link in the comment section, and then obviously you guys, I'll put the link to the whole channel so you guys can see it afterwards. So
cool.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I mean, it looked like it was promising that it would fix some things and make it look cool. And I guess he's trying to make it look like Obi-Wan Kenobi is kind of losing his mind a little bit, so that's why he's where he's at and stuff. So
interesting.
But I guess we'll see. If it comes out, that'd be cool. If it doesn't, then I guess we were catfished, right?
Yep.
We were catfished.
Yeah.
This guy. Dang, man. But he does have a trailer out, so. The Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader fight. Yeah, it was good. That one was a cool scene, for sure.
There were a lot of good parts of it. I just think overall it was it didn't do what I needed it to do.
Right.
And I don't really know how to even describe it other than that. I just expected
Yep.
Yeah, we expected something else. Yeah. It's kind of like Boba Fett, we were expecting something else.
That's another one. Yes. Yeah. I know that I'm not necessarily alone, but I really liked the Andor series, and part of the reason I liked it is because it brought a whole different part of the universe to us. Instead of trying to tell me a story that I've already kind of in my head come up with my own story, and it didn't live up to my expectations. I just thought it was a new way of telling more about the Star Wars universe from a different angle, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed it, and not wait to season 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. What do you guys? Are you excited about the Acolyte? Because it's coming out next week.
I know, the 4th.
Yeah.
I wasn't at first, but I've seen some footage that made me more excited for it now.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, I mean that's the life of a Star Wars fan.
I know.
Just like,
I really don't want to jump on the bandwagon. There's so many people that are like, Disney is ruining Star Wars and blah. And I don't even necessarily agree with that. I'm not really that hard to please.
Right.
I feel like I'm not hard to please, but then I'm watching and there's like, it's like you're watching Boba Fett and they've got like some terrible Fast and Furious scooters running through there, and I'm like, what are you doing with this? And I don't know why they do those things, and that makes me as a Star Wars fan not mad at Disney, but just mad at who allowed this. Who said
someone said okay to that? Someone
thought that was a good idea.
Signed off on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't either. As soon as I saw it, I just
yes. I made that same face.
For me, it wasn't even the look of the speeders. I could have gotten past that if they weren't going like 2 miles an hour.
Yes.
That's just it. Speeders. Yeah, at one point I'm just like, what is this? What is happening?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, if they weren't so brightly colored and going a half a mile an hour, I would have been fine with it. I
would have been okay with all the mirrors and the color, even if it had been just like a blur,
If it was a blur.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Uh-oh, is Ron frozen?
Yep, Ron's frozen.
I
don't know why.
All right. We can still hear you.
Yeah. Technical difficulties. Not exactly sure why. But it put me in the perfect face. That's cool.
I mean that's the most beautiful face.
and
while you guys are talking about Boba Fett, I'm okay with this frozen face. I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I feel like it's appropriate.
And I know, Dan, we've talked about this one before, but I also really liked the Solo story. I thought I thought that got a lot of, in my opinion, bad press, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought that was a good one.
I did too. I think that the issue with that one was timing.
Yeah,
it came out in the theater.
Agreed.
It was right up against, I can't remember what movie now, but nobody went and saw it because they wanted to go see the other one instead.
Right. Yeah. And because people were mad about the other 3 sequel movies, so you're right. It was bad timing.
Yeah, that's what it was. The final or the middle movie had just come out in December or whatever, and then
and everybody was like, "What the heck? This isn't cool."
Which one are you talking about?
Solo.
Oh, that's like the only Star Wars I hadn't seen in the theater.
Oh, really?
Pretty sad. Yeah, that's the first one. I just was like, But then when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I could have gone to see this. There were some things that had some moments.
Yeah,
it did have moments. I think it would have been a better fleshed out movie if it was a TV series.
Yes,
instead. That's just my opinion.
Yep.
And then
they could have explained so much more. Boba Fett could have been in that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And one of the major, I don't know, I have mental issues when it comes, Han Solo to me should look a certain way, and be a certain way. They hired a 5'9" guy to be Han Solo, and Harrison Ford is 6'2". So that bothered me. That was like, I know height shouldn't bother somebody while watching a movie, but it always did.
I think he did a great job, though. I mean,
he did a good job with some of his aneurysms and stuff.
Yeah.
but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
we had some good characters and some good troopers in there, and
It did.
Yeah, I liked a lot of it.
Something was wrong. Something was off.
Yeah.
Not wrong, but off.
Yeah, just a little off, but
Well,
You
there's
know,
only
little
one
moments like how he got his name. Just that was another one of those.
that was one of those off moments.
No.
and he
But
starts talking Wookiee.
That was cool.
Yeah,
Right.
Everything about that was cool. I wanted to know more. Would you like to know
No,
more?
I'm with you though, Sean. It was good. I liked it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. We're not gonna like everything. We didn't like everything George Lucas put out either. So I mean,
True.
that is
I mean,
true.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I guess we'll see about the Acolyte. But
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it being in a different time period with characters that are completely new to us,
Yeah.
and hopefully the storyline is captivating enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I enjoyed Andor for those reasons, so I'm hoping that this
Mhm.
kind of fits that same slot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
me too.
I'll be right back. I got to grab a power supply laptop.
Uh-oh.
Ah,
Yep.
All right.
Hey, Dennis is here.
He
Such
yeah,
a-
he was. You didn't see me post the thingy.
Oh no,
Yeah,
there's
he
no
said-
bad Star Wars, only misunderstood. Fair enough. Like I said, we didn't like everything Lucas did either. So
yeah.
That's it. That's it.
But
I would
the
like to see. We talked about it before. I don't know if Sean was on that show, but I would have liked to see that show that George Lucas started to make, and then he just kind of scrapped it before he sold to Disney. That would have been a cool little series.
You and I think that was the show. It was just you and me, Dan. We were looking.
Oh, was
at
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Might have been just us.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the name of it right now, for the life of me.
So Underworld or something like that, right?
Oh yes. Yeah, it was like that. So, yeah, that's what it was.
But basically, that's what they're doing with some of the Star Wars or Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I would have liked to see how George Lucas would have done it. Just to see. I think they should give George Lucas a show of his own. I think they should say, "Hey, George, we know you like Star Wars. Do a show. We'll help pay for it. We just want to see what you do." Ron's computer must have died.
I have a feeling that in the time period we're in, and there's so much toxic backlash when it comes to Star Wars, he probably is fine not being in the middle of it and happy to just visit a set every now and then and make his comments, and then really go back into the woodwork and just you guys deal with it.
Yep, you deal with everybody that hates it.
Yeah.
Dennis does say word is that he is back and working on something. Ooh,
I've
nice.
seen a couple things on YouTube about that, Dennis, but I haven't heard anything else about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting.
It would be. It'd be kind of fun,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's back. Yep, he is. He's back.
There he is.
That was like seconds away before it finally died.
Yep. We saw that.
The camera messing up earlier was a sign.
Probably. And there's your sign. But yeah, no, we should have had Dennis on tonight talking about costumes. He made that
Tusken Raider.
That Tusken Raider costume.
Incredible.
Yep.
That was good.
And an amazing build too. That's a great costume.
Yeah.
And then obviously you got the props that go with some costumes, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, like Mandalorian, you got the guns and the little missiles or whatever. Now, Sean, with your Mandalorian, do you have the guns? Do you have like the little missiles that go in the gauntlet, or how did you do all that stuff?
So I didn't like the way the little missiles, the 3D printed missiles looked, and so the one kind of fun thing that you kind of acquire as a skill for anybody that, as I'm looking in the background of everything Tony's got there, is you learn to kind of see things in a different way and to find other purposes for what somebody would consider junk. And you find another way of taking that and making it into something. And as I looked at the little missiles on the gauntlet, I realized they kind of look like soldering tips. And so what I did was I bought an extra package of soldering tips, and I just modified my entire gauntlet to fit the soldering tips in there as the missiles. And then I could weather them, and they looked metal because they were metal. And so it's just it's an interesting, weird mindset when you make things out of crap that you start figuring out other ways to think through a problem and find a solution.
You know, actually, before let's see, BSR, before Smuggler's Room. So before I stumbled on to Brian Thompson and got into this insane, insanity, I did for years. I would notice like packaging for certain things or little parts and pieces that had really cool shapes.
Yep.
And I tended to kind of hang on to them because I was like, this looks cool. I don't know what I would ever do with it, right? But it looks kind of cool. I don't want to throw this away. And so whenever I found Brian's channel and then saw you guys too, it was like, ding, 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 the light went up. And I was like, okay, that was the part of my brain that, I didn't have any outlet for it.
Yeah. It's my wife and kids make fun of me all the time because we have a Samsung television, and they have that Samsung TV where it's like they've got all these channels where they just rerun episodes of, like, I don't know, Hell's Kitchen or whatever. And one of the shows that they rerun all the time on one channel is that television show Hoarders. And before that, I had never seen Hoarders. And so every now and then I'll come in and my kids are watching Hoarders, and they'll turn and they'll go, looks like your office and all the stuff you say. And I'm like, great, thanks. Because I'm constantly saving weird bowls and weird things that I just like the shape, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just like it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, my garage is a complete mess. My wife is a saint for dealing with me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
Yep. I had, those memes that would say this without or tell me you're this without saying it, and then they do pictures or whatever. I was thinking the same thing because I follow a bunch of groups, that collect like we got TMNT groups. They got toys all over the place, but they got them nicely set up and it looks nice. Same with Ghostbusters and Star Wars, and you got all these collectors. And I thought to myself, what would be a fun meme to do is say, tell me you're a hoarder without saying you're a hoarder. And then you take a picture of like your collection of all your stuff, even though it's set up nice. But in reality, you're basically kind of hoarding it. And I do the same thing. I can't say I don't, so.
So my 18-year-old, we had these little containers this is the container, and there was rice in it, and she went to throw it away, and I snatched it out of the garbage, and she says, "What is wrong with you?" And now I have a collection of all of these little rice, because I love the shape and the look of that. I mean,
that's cool. Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Dude, we switched orange juice. We drink Simply Juice now. Just for the lid.
That's for the lid. Yep.
For real, yeah.
Well, if you ever go to Chick-fil-A in the morning for breakfast, they have juice.
Oh, do they? The little
Yeah,
bottle?
so I've gotten my lids from them.
Nice.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like,
Right.
I will take all of them, please.
Right.
And they've got different sized ones, and it's like, hey, that one's
right.
small and that one's big, and it's like my kids had this container of Quick, and I'm like, oh, those kind of look like binoculars.
Exactly. We all picked up on that. Exactly.
I have a problem.
I instantly sprayed it with primer and everything. I saw it all. It was flashed right before my eyes.
Yeah. Me too.
Oh, that's funny.
My goodness. Yeah, what is wrong with us? I don't know.
I know.
I don't know what's scarier, the fact that we're all like that, or that we all get it. Like,
and I was watching Smuggler's Room. I was watching Brian, and he took and he embedded the Falcon in an old game, and I realized as I looked around, I'm like, oh God, I've got the same game. I love the idea of like little tiny handheld things, and I've got so many of these. I'm like, oh God, I'm glad it's not just me.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not.
I know.
Yeah, you can do so much with it too, and it's cool. Like all the different franchises that are out there, you can do so much with that stuff. Not just Star Wars. You can make, like I do, Ghostbusters stuff.
Ghostbusters,
You can do Fallout stuff.
Yeah.
You can do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. It's endless, really.
Yeah.
You know, Star Trek. You can do Star Trek stuff. You can do, you know, it's
Pretty cool.
The sky's the limit, right?
and it's weird because my love of Star Wars is deeply rooted in the Empire. I mean, I have a wall that I don't want to even show you, that I have hundreds of Black Series stormtroopers. I've got every version of the stormtrooper that has ever come out, and I loved the stormtroopers as a kid, and Darth Vader, and I'm looking at Vaughn's back room, and I mean that's the world that I, as a kid, would have loved to have been involved in, because I love the slick look of the Empire.
Yep.
But for building things, I love the used, rusty kind of cobbled together thing, which is why I love Fallout and why I love Ghostbusters, and they have that same aesthetic. And I love to build things that are that aesthetic, but for me, watching, I love the Empire, but love to build Rebel, which is a weird mental thing that I've got, which is why I had to come up with my own storyline of my build room. Is it used to belong to the Rebels, and the Empire has taken it over now, and they're young, so it's like, oh God, whatever.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah. That's fun.
Mental problems.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all have somewhat of a mental issue.
Yep. Definitely.
Yep.
But that's where creativity comes from, though, you know.
It does.
But God made us. He's creative. He made us creative. So it all circles around.
Yep.
Yeah, Sean, you were talking earlier about being in a rut before we went live. Some of their projects. And there's one I'm working on now. I don't really want to spoil it, but I would just come down here and I would stare at it for like weeks on end, just staring at it. Like, there's something not right about this. I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger, you know?
Yep. Been there.
And then I finally just had to, like you said, like, just, all right, I've just got to do something. I got to finish something. So, you know,
push yourself. Yep. Just past that point of uncomfortable, and just go for it.
Right. Yeah. And if I screw it up, then I'll start over. You know.
Yeah. And I'm the same way because it's a weird. It's like the enemy of creativity. It's like when I mentally get to something that because originally what I started doing in my life was I wanted to be an animator, and that's what I wanted to do is I wanted to animate and do cartoons and things like that. And that's what and the reason that I decided I couldn't do that is because I would get to a place mentally and I found that I couldn't be creative past that. And I thought I wouldn't have a way to do that for a job because I wouldn't be able to push myself to draw if I wasn't feeling inspired by it. And so when I'm building something, and that's why I have a
mirror image of me, man. That's exactly. I think we've got the exact same story. Wow.
Yeah. So when I have a couple different projects going so that I can jump back and forth between them, but then I've got 4 things that I'm working on here in front of me, and they're all at a place now where I'm kind of frozen on them. And so it's been like 2 months since I put out a video because I can't just suck it up and go, this is going to be good enough. I'm going to just push forward because I want it to be a certain way and I'm not happy until it is. And it kills the creativity, which is really hard. It's a weird hurdle to cross.
Yeah. That's a mixture of OCD and ADHD, I think.
Oh God, yeah.
and a slight bit of autism as well.
I think that's all of the above.
Right?
Exactly. Exactly. That's me too. When I was working on my house, I'm the type that I'm like that. I like to, if I'm working on one thing, I start getting bored. I don't want to work on it again, so I'll go work on a different thing. And I did that with the house, and then my wife saw me doing that, and she said, "No, you need to work on one room at a time." So I was like, okay, I'll try, And so that, and I got stuck. It took me longer to work on things because I get stuck, and you're just like, you're sitting there going, overthinking things and like, okay, if I do it this way or if I do it that way. But when you're like with me, when I'm working several different things at once, my brain can keep moving, it's, I got some issues.
And that's why I've got 4 projects that I'm working on. And I'm at this point where I'm like kind of stuck on all of them. And what I want to do is it's that fight or flight. I want to start another project because I'll be happier, but I know
right,
I mean, because then I'm going to be in 5 projects that I can't. I've got to move forward on something. And so, and that's honestly why I started this channel in the first place, is because I thought, hey, if everyone's watching me build something, it forces me to actually finish it. But my solution to that was, well, I just won't put out a video then. And it's like, well, that doesn't help me at all.
Yep. That's right.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
It is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fun. We had a good time.
Muted. You're muted, Ron.
No, he's frozen. Oh, there he is.
Ron, you're muted.
Can't hear you.
You hit your mute button. I can't undo it.
Can't hear you.
You're muted. No. And I'm sure he's got something great to say.
That's why.
You're still muted. Muted. Can he hear us? Maybe his headphones unplugged. Oh, there. Right there. No.
Oh no! Now
I couldn't unmute myself.
Oh, okay. There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're talking. Again. It's not muted, but we can't hear you. I don't know. Oh, now it says you're muted.
Dan, are you like in the corner like you?
I think he's messing with me, man.
I'm
There it
not,
is.
I'm not touching.
I think he's
nothing.
messing with me.
I think so too.
My hands are here. I ain't touching
Nah.
nothing. I swear.
Like I would press mute, it would show that I'm unmuted, and then all of a sudden muted again. Like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah, that was strange.
I'm sure it's
man.
this janky laptop I'm using. That's what it is. All
What
night
were you
it's been
saying?
fighting me.
Now that we can hear you, what were you saying?
Oh, so I was just jokingly saying my issue is I'm just plain lazy. I'll go in the garage and I'll be all gung ho to do something, and I'm like, I got to set up the camera and the microphone. I'm just gonna go watch TV now. It's just tomorrow. There's 2 days in a weekend. I could do it on Sunday.
Yeah, there you go. I can do it a different day.
I have gotten pretty tired of the camera, so I haven't been filming nearly as much. I'll take some like still pictures of the progress, but man, that's exhausting trying to get the right angle and keeping the camera charged and making sure you have enough space on your smart or your discs and stuff. It's just
that, and then you find the best thing that ever happens to every YouTuber. I mean, the absolute best is when you've done something and then you press record to find out that you just paused it. So you've recorded pretty much the wrong part, and now you missed what you were supposed to record. Yeah. Nothing deflates you more than that, man. Where you're like, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah. Yep. Throw the camera out the window.
I'm leaving the garage. I'm done.
Yep. I can't tell you how many times I've had to go back and nail another board together that really isn't part of the project.
Yes.
Just so I can make it seem like I was nailing that together. Yeah.
The fake project. That's right. There's a corner full of fake projects that are half cut, half nailed. 2 pieces of boards that are nailed.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yep.
You just got muted again there, Ron. I don't know why.
You muted me again.
It's not me. It's not me. It's like your OBS is messing up. Now you're muted again. I don't know what's going on. See, my hands are here. I swear I'm not. I'll leave my hands like this. So we have to say goodbye.
Ghost here or something.
Must be. I don't know.
Stop messing with me, Dan.
Maybe your microphone's unplugging. I don't know.
It could be. I don't know.
What microphone you using?
I'm unplugging.
You're unplugging. Well, since Ron is unplugging, yeah,
I need new equipment.
We all do. I do too. We all need new equipment.
And Dan, how could we get new equipment? What sort of money-making avenue would you think we could use?
Well, we have a store.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Nice. Well done.
Nice segue, Ron.
Yeah.
I was due.
Unmuted just in time.
So yeah, when you visit the shop page, insidetheboothtv.com/shop, you can buy neck gaiters, and you can buy and you can buy some mugs and T-shirts and a bunch of other stuff. It helps the channel, so we can make some money and buy new equipment.
Buy new microphones. Evidently,
buy new microphones,
batteries,
and we also have a Patreon page. You can become a Patreon member for just $1 a month. and we are also monetized here. So give us some super chats, or give us, or become a member on YouTube. The super chats are fun. So if you want to give us a super chat, do it. Do it now. Do it now. Super chat me.
Hello. Dan, probably mention that at the you should mention that at the beginning of the stream, not at the end. We've been talking for that.
You should mention it several times throughout the stream.
Yes, you should.
Well, you know, we're having fun talking
Commercial
about other
break.
stuff. Goodness. Commercial breaks.
Yep. You should segue every time you can.
I should. All right, guys, shut up. Let me talk about merchandise.
Right?
We'll have a show just talking about making money.
There you go. Making money and shoddy
members.
equipment that seems to auto mute.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm gonna name you Dan. Okay, just keep muting me. I realized what that looked like. Anywho.
So we do have a couple of people who jumped in. We do have a couple of people who jumped in while we were talking. We got Sketchy Guy. He jumped in. Dan the Messer.
Pretty sketchy.
He's laughing. We got Dave White is live now.
Hey.
Smelly Neck Gators. That's right. Smelly Neck Gators.
Yeah.
Just made that product worse.
I know, right? It smells good.
You gonna auction off the one that you've been wearing all day?
Exactly.
Yeah. $100 comes off of my neck.
There you go. Let's get that maker
Buy it
smell.
Oh, look, we got Scurf the Scuttlebutt podcast. Hey guys, it looks like Star Wars fans. Yes, of course you do.
Star Wars. That's never not familiar with it.
No.
This sounds like I'm not going there. That's it. Basically that's our show, guys. How's everyone doing? You guys look great. You look great today. You guys remember that movie? What is it? Demolition Man?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. We should make some props for that movie.
Yeah, no kidding. The auto inflate tire. Make that
great today. Oh, look at that. Oh, but except for Dan, you look marvelous. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm marvelous. So that's basically it though, guys. Sean, is that Mando on the wall laser cut? Oh, that's a good question.
Actually, it was a gift. It was bought at a con. My wife got that for me. It actually has some LEDs behind it. It's just made out of plywood. It was a local artist that was selling it there, and she thought it kind of fit. And I thought, hey, it deserves a place on the wall.
Looks great.
For sure.
Yeah. You did a great job.
And it's the cool Mando look.
It's the season I like. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got new armor way too quick in that show.
Way too quick.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
I thought it was going to be one piece at a time for seasons to come.
Oh, I thought that too, man.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
Yep.
See, Disney did ruin it. They ruined their own show. That's what Sketchy Guy was being funny.
Of course.
Bought it at a con or bought from a con?
Could be both.
Could be, that's true. Could be both.
If you've been to cons, it could be both.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Wow. You want how much for
a lot
what?
of con artists
Yeah.
there, huh?
Yeah.
That being said, this neck gaiter just went up $100. 200 for this wonderful neck gaiter off of my neck.
There you go.
You've been wearing it for a month.
Right?
And,
Authentic
Right.
maker smell.
and I won't wash it before I send it to you.
You shouldn't. You should not.
Yes,
You should
right.
probably go outside and do some yard work in it and then mail it off.
There you go. Yes, yes. Since it is the hot season.
Have garlic bread first, though, and then work on the
Some garlic bread. I'll just eat the garlic clove. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Let's spill something on it for the authenticness.
Yes.
There you go. Yes, yes. And it will be stained.
There you go.
So yeah, that's it, guys. That's the show. And tuna fish sandwiches. Sandwiches. Yes, Whitey.
Tuna fish sandwiches.
Sandwiches. Fun. All right. That's the show, guys. That's it for tonight. If you have some Comic-Con costumes that you have done, go ahead and send us some pictures. We'd like
Just show them in the show next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll show them in the show next. Show them in the show next time.
I like
Yeah,
it.
I stand by what I said.
That's right.
Can't say it, but
That's right. That's right. Anyways, yeah, and then obviously, if you like what we do here, subscribe to the channel, ding the bell button, vanquish the like button, and share to your friends. And go ahead and go in the description below. Follow Tony, Ron, and Sean. They are down there in the description. You can follow them, watch their stuff.
Yeah.
They got cool stuff. They tell you how they built their rooms, basically. And then Sean's just a fun guy to watch. So just watch him.
I just can't finish anything.
He just can't finish anything.
self-awareness is the step, man.
That's the first step. Appreciate it.
So, yeah, thanks everybody for joining tonight. Thanks for watching. And yeah, and that's it. We will say goodbye and good night.
Good beer.
And there is no music on this, so
what?
Oh, we can keep talking.
If anyone wants to sing, you can keep talking. You can do your own singing. It's karaoke night.
I think we can end it with the improv wall. That's cool.
Goodbye, guys.
Cheers.
That's right.
See ya.